Gem International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond-producing country in Africa, located next to the fourth largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109-carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. Gem International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Rafe Mair, former BC Cabinet Minister and Canada's longest-running #1 radio talk show host. But the most important thing is he's the most prominent political commentator in Lions Bay, BC. Welcome to the show, Rafe.
Thank you very much, Jim. Nice to be here.
Everybody's talking about the speech that Mrs. Trump made last night at the Republican convention, and it turns out she basically plagiarized the speech given by Michelle Obama, the wife of the U.S. president.
Hell, she didn't basically do it. She did it almost word for word. It's the most amazing thing I've seen in a long life of watching politics, Jim. I mean, here is a woman who's married to a man who wishes to be president, who's got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of speechwriters and coaches and God knows what they're going around, and she gives word for word Michelle Obama's speech. And I think the worst of it is not just that she's caught plagiarizing, God knows that's bad enough, but in the natural comparisons that are going on television, she looks so terrible up against Michelle. I guess the best that can be said, Jim, is it's so embarrassing that perhaps it'll just pass over. But it really is something. That must be just an absolute nightmare for a candidate to have that kind of thing happen.
Well, it's so easy to make fun of. I mean, what you see on Twitter or Facebook, the comments, people now are quoting just about anybody who's famous and, of course, saying, well, this is what Melania would have said.
Yeah.
You know, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the sharpest weapon in politics, humor. That gets you before anything else does. I think anybody who's been in politics knows that you can shout insults and so on at your opponent and get sort of one-liners in the media, but there's absolutely nothing like piercing him with something that's funny and sticks. And that's what's happened here, I think. I'm just blown away by it. Every time something strange happens in politics, I think it can't happen. But it does, and here it is.
And, of course, Trump says, I'm not going to fire anybody about this, and somehow he's trying to blame Hillary Clinton's campaign for it.
Oh, dear. You see, he's got me laughing. That's the last thing you want to have happen. Yeah, I guess Hillary did this. I'm not quite sure how she did it, but transplanted a voice box or something. But no, it's silly. I think it's a difficult thing for Mr. Trump to handle, but I think the way you have to handle it is just say, that will be dealt with, and next question. And you just have to let time take care of it. You don't do anything that prolongs the story, especially in this era of the social media where things don't go away as quickly as they did, a few years ago when you turned off the radio or TV or threw the newspaper into the bottom of the birdcage and the story was long gone. Nowadays, with social media, it never quits, and people find being very funny at heart. People find new ways to add wrinkles to it too, which makes it worse. And as you were saying, to attribute it to poor Melania, whatever her name is, the words of Churchill and I suppose in due course Jesus and everybody else, it just makes it worse. And it's, as I say, it's a nightmare for a politician who has enough of those hanging around as it is.
Well, what's embarrassing for Trump as well is that the governor of the state that he's holding the convention is in won't even show up. A lot of prominent people were asked to speak, and they won't.
Well, that's right. It's not just an unusual time; it's an unprecedented time. Certainly, in my memory, and I hate to say it, but I was born in Herbert Hoover's presidency, so I've seen a lot of these things come and go, and a lot of embarrassing moments. I remember one, for example, in Eisenhower's first convention, and when the Georgia delegation was seated, the band struck up Marching Through Georgia, which of course was Sherman's song as he devastated Georgia in the Civil War. And you have those things coming up and you wonder, how the hell do they happen? But something of this magnitude, I just don't know. And it is an incredible convention. Back in the days when they were not already fixed by the time they get in there, they were sort of fixed after they got in there, and there was some real good tucking and pulling and fighting and so on. There were a lot of interesting things and nasty things happened, but this one is without precedent, where the man with all the votes is going in with the public mad at him, with all kinds of organizations mad at him, with his own a party outside of the convention mad at him, and so on. It really is extraordinary, and it makes you wonder just how it's all going to turn out. It's easy to say it's bad news for Trump and the Republicans, but we've never seen this before, so we've got nothing to go on. No precedent at all. It really is something else. And the other thing I think about a lot, Jim, is that obviously Hillary is not the most popular cat in the world either. And what would it be like if the Republicans actually fielded somebody who looked viable, looked acceptable? It would be an entirely different situation. And what does it do to Hillary? Does it make her look better, or does it perhaps put a little tar on her too? It's just so hard to tell. It's an extraordinary presidential election in every way imaginable. At the same time, I might say, following a man who's become a very, very popular president. So the public are left with the memory